You're making a choice about your 40-year-old life every time you delay a money decision or drift through another year at a random job. Fast forward. In one future, you're 40, overworked, underpaid, locked into payments, and your boss controls every decision you make. In the other future, you're 40 with power. You can build tools, start things, walk away from toxic work, and say yes or no without panic. This video breaks down 5 skills that quietly tilt the system in your favor so that by 40, you're the one making the real decisions. Skill number 1, system thinking. Stop playing a game you don't understand. Most people treat money, career, and time like 3 separate problems. They try to fix money with a budget, fix their career with a new job, and fix time with productivity hacks. The result at 40 is chaos. High income, no options, constant stress. The hidden rule is this. The system is designed to reward people who see connections, not pieces. Money flows to people who understand how income, debt, lifestyle, skills, and time form one engine. If you don't see that engine, every decision feels random. You always feel behind, even when you're doing the right things. So what's systems thinking in simple terms? It's seeing your life as a machine with inputs, outputs, and feedback loops. Inputs are things like your skills, your hours, your relationships. Outputs are your income, energy, and options. Feedback loops are the patterns that either trap you or push you up. Debt interest, habits, reputation, portfolio. A simple model you can use is this. Income arrow. Commitments arrow capacity. Arrow options. Income is what comes in. Commitments are everything that's locked in. Rent, car, subscriptions, debt payments, promises of your time. Capacity is what's left. Your free cash, free time, and mental energy. Options are what that leftover capacity allows you to do. Invest, learn, move, quit, start. The system trap most people fall into is loading up commitments so heavily that capacity drops close to zero. When your capacity is gone, you lose options. That's why a small surprise bill or a bad boss feels life-threatening. 2 cognitive biases make this worse. Present bias makes you value comfort today way more than freedom later, so you sign up for payments that feel harmless now. Optimism bias makes you assume future you will figure it out with higher income, more discipline, or better luck. That combination quietly kills your capacity. Let's make this practical. Grab a sheet of paper and map your current life system. On one side, write your monthly income sources. On the other side, list your fixed costs. Rent, debt, insurance, subscriptions, anything you're locked into. Then add your weekly time commitments, work hours, commute, non-negotiable responsibilities. Now ask, after these commitments, how much capacity do you realistically have left each week in money, time, and energy? That number is your current power level. Most people never do this math. They just feel busy and broke without seeing the structure causing it. Next, identify one bottleneck. Maybe it's a high car payment or rent that's eating half your income, or a job that leaves you too drained to learn anything new. The point of systems thinking is not to optimize everything. It's to find the lever that, if changed, shifts the whole system. For example, moving in with roommates for 2 years might increase your free cash by a few hundred a month. That cash becomes capacity. You can buy courses, take a small pay cut for a better career path, or fund a debt payoff sprint. The visible move is cheaper rent, but the real move is more options. The mistake most people make is obsessing over tiny optimizations, clipping a few dollars off groceries while ignoring the big levers like housing, transport, and career trajectory. You don't win this game by perfectly tracking coffee. You win by redesigning the engine. Once you start seeing your life as a system, the questions you ask change from, how do I save $50 to, what's the one change that doubles my capacity? And when you start thinking like that, the next skill becomes obvious. You need a more powerful engine. That's where career capital comes in. Skill number 2, career capital, how you stop being replaceable. By 40, the people with real power aren't the ones who worked hardest. They're the ones who became hard to replace. If your boss or your clients can swap you out with someone cheaper in a week, your entire financial life rests on their mood, the market, and luck. The system rewards rare, valuable, and proven skills. It does not care how long you've been around. Drifting through random jobs because they felt interesting in the moment leads to a nasty surprise at midlife. Plenty of experience, almost no leverage. Career capital is the mix of skills, proof, and results that gives you bargaining power. Think of it like an investment portfolio, but for your work life. You've got core skills, communication skills, technical or operational skills, and a track record that shows you can actually deliver. When you treat jobs as just paychecks, your career capital barely grows. When you treat them as training grounds where you collect specific assets, the same years of work compound into power. There are two paths most people follow. One is job hopping for vibes, chasing slightly higher pay, nicer offices, or cooler titles, but in totally different directions. The other is deliberate skill stacking around a core domain, choosing roles and projects that add depth and range in a connected area. Here's the key idea. Career capital compounds like money. The project you struggle through at 25 makes you 10 times faster at 30, which lets you take on higher stakes work at 35, which gives you options at 40. But only if those projects are building on each other. Cognitive traps get in the way here too. Short-term status chasing makes you pick titles over skills. You want to say you're a manager, even if you're learning nothing rare. Short-term comfort pushes you away from hard projects that would have given you serious capital. So how do you build this on purpose? Use a simple framework. One core skill, one communication skill, one tech or ops skill. Your core skill is the thing people obviously pay for. Design, coding, sales, analysis, operations, whatever fits the domain you want to play in. Your communication skill is how you sell ideas. Writing, speaking, presenting, simplifying complex stuff. Your tech or ops skill is your ability to use tools or systems to make work faster, more accurate, or more scalable. Pick a direction where there's clear demand, then ask of every job or project, what asset am I building here? That asset could be a deeper technical ability, a type of result you can show, a connection to a specific type of client, or experience with a tool that's widely used. If you're in a random role now, you can still turn it into capital. Volunteer for projects that touch your target skills. Document what you do, before and after numbers, screenshots, short write-ups of problems solved. Over time, that becomes a visible portfolio that signals, I'm not generic labor, I create outcomes. The common mistake is chasing promotions that only change your title and your meeting count, not your skills or proof. A fancy label that doesn't travel to other companies or fields is a weak asset. Focus instead on transferable skills and measurable outcomes that would matter to any rational buyer of your time. Once your career capital starts to build, your bargaining power improves. You can negotiate pay, push back on nonsense, or switch to better environments. But to really unlock those options, you need something beyond skill. You need the right people to know you exist. That's where strategic networking comes in next. Skill number 3, strategic networking, building the room that opens doors. Look at any powerful 40-year-old and you'll see a pattern. Their biggest breaks didn't come from online applications. They came from people. Most folks wait for opportunities to show up in their inbox. People with leverage design the room those opportunities come from. The hidden rule is that jobs, deals, and information flow through trust, not resumes. Someone has to think, yeah, I know a person for that. And your name has to be the one that pops up. If nobody knows you, your career capital just sits there, underused. The problem is, social anxiety and short-term thinking make networking feel fake and exhausting. You might think of it as clout chasing, chasing followers, trying to impress people way above you, or collecting business cards you'll never use. That's not strategic networking, that's random social noise. Strategic networking is different. It's building deliberate, asymmetric relationships where a small action today can create big upside later. You're not trying to be best friends with everyone. You're creating a web of people who know what you're good at and trust you enough to open doors. There's also a concept called weak ties. These are people who aren't your close friends, but know you well enough to vouch for you. Research shows a lot of opportunities come through these weak ties because they live in circles you don't. They're information bridges between your world and other worlds. Your brain, though, underestimates their value. Bias pushes you to only focus on your tight inner circle and to think small, one-off interactions don't matter. So you default to doing nothing and your future options silently shrink. So let's turn this into a system you can actually run. Use a simple weekly networking loop. One new person, one follow-up, one value drop. One new person means you start one light. Real conversation each week with someone in or near your target domain. This could be online or in person. Ask a specific question, share a short insight, or comment thoughtfully on their work. One follow-up means you don't let connections die. Reply to an old thread, send a quick update, or react to something they posted. You're reminding their brain you exist in a low-pressure way. One value drop means you send something useful with no ask attached, a resource, a summary, a relevant intro. Being useful early is how you build trust. You're not pitching yourself, you're making their life easier. Aim to connect with people slightly ahead of you, not unreachable celebrities. If your early career, think people 5 years ahead, not 50. They remember what it's like to be you and they're still climbing, so introductions go both ways. The big mistake is only networking when you need something. That screams desperation and kills trust. Strategic networking is built during calm periods, so it's there during storms. Over a decade, that quiet, consistent system turns into a room full of people who think of you when it matters. Once you've built better skills and better rooms, you've got leverage. But there's still one thing that can blow everything up: your own emotions around money. That's the next skill. Skill number 4, emotional money control. Debugging your financial brain. By 40, most people's financial situation isn't just the result of math. It's the result of emotions they never learned to control. The same income can create either quiet wealth or constant crisis, depending on how your brain reacts to money. Here's the uncomfortable part. Markets, brands, and even workplaces are built to profit from your fear, envy, and impulse. If your emotions run the show, every raise gets swallowed, every plan gets derailed, and no amount of income ever feels like enough. Emotional money control means you catch the feeling before it turns into a financial move. You notice the urge, you name it, and you create space to choose. You're basically debugging your financial brain. 3 cognitive biases cause most of the damage. Present bias makes right now feel way more important than 10 years from now. That's how you justify swiping the card for stuff you barely care about. Social proof makes you copy what everyone around you is buying or doing, even if it doesn't fit your system. Loss aversion makes you fear losing money more than you value building long-term freedom, so you avoid good risks and chase dumb guarantees. Together, they drive debt, lifestyle creep, and panic career choices. You feel stressed, so you spend to feel better. You see others upgrade, so you upgrade. You fear missing out, so you take offers that pay slightly more but destroy your growth. You can't fully delete these biases, but you can put guardrails around them. Start with a simple pause protocol for money. For any non-essential purchase above a small threshold, insert a 24-hour delay. During that delay, write one sentence. Why do I actually want this? Often you'll see the feeling in the sentence: stress, boredom, status, envy. Once you name it, it loses power. Sometimes you'll still buy the thing, but at least it's a conscious choice, not a reflex. Next, run a short daily or weekly money check-in. Not just numbers, but feelings. Ask, when did I feel tense about money this week? When did I feel out of control? What was happening? You're training yourself to spot emotional patterns before they become expensive habits. Use one core reframe. Is this buying me time or buying me noise? Time is anything that increases your future capacity or reduces your future obligations. Debt payoff, savings, skills, tools that make you more effective. Noise is everything that adds cost without adding real freedom. The common mistake is trying to fix money problems only by chasing more income. If your emotional leak is still open, more income just scales the chaos. Emotional control doesn't replace earning more, but it makes sure that when you do earn more, it actually moves you toward power, Once your emotions stop quietly sabotaging you, you're finally ready for the move that changes your future options the most, building a real debt exit strategy. Skill number 5, debt exit strategy, turning chains into fuel. Debt at 40 isn't just a bill, it's a limit on every decision you make. It decides which jobs you can take, how honest you can be with your boss, how much risk you're allowed. The system is built to make debt feel normal. Monthly payment language hides the real cost so you'll carry it for decades. If you accept that, you're accepting less power for the rest of your life. A debt exit strategy is a clear, time-bound plan to eliminate non-productive debt. Not vibes, not "I'll handle it when I make more." A plan. Start by listing every debt: balance, interest rate, minimum payment. Then pick an attack method and commit. Highest interest first for math efficiency, or smallest balance first for quick wins. Both work. What doesn't work is switching every 2 weeks. Next, free cash flow by hitting fixed costs, not just coffees. Housing, transport, subscriptions, unused extras. Every dollar you pull out of commitments becomes capacity you can aim straight at the target. Then link your career capital. Use raises, new roles, or side gigs as debt killer income, not lifestyle fuel. Track mini milestones and treat each chunk paid off as proof you're taking power back, not evidence you messed up. Once debt shrinks, you can finally use emotions for positive moves on purpose. Power by 40 is simple. It's the ability to make big decisions without fear owning you. These 5 skills are one system: how you think, work, connect, feel, and finally, how you exit debt, compounding into options instead of obligations. Every year you delay, that system quietly compounds against you. Like Henry David Thoreau said, the price of anything is the amount of life you exchange for it. Start your debt exit process this week, even if it's just the full list in one small cut. If you want a step-by-step walkthrough, watch the follow-up video on building a realistic payoff plan next.
See you in the next one.